Will the upcoming trends favor Ethereum, and will we see increasing inflows, or will Bitcoin's relative outlook enhance its performance? Is what is happening a temporary correction, and will the rises resume again?
Yeah, this is just a small reversal. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are both going up in the medium to long run. My price prediction on Bitcoin is 150 to 200k by end of year, and Ethereum at 10 to 12k by end of year. So we're just in a short-term reversal. I think both Bitcoin and Ethereum and the wider crypto market is gearing up for a major bull run over the next 90, 120 days.
Okay, how do we explain these declines in Bitcoin then? Is it, as you mentioned, a short-term shift, or can we see that there is a clear and larger shift in favor of Ethereum, which, for example, added gains of 19% in August compared to declines in Bitcoin? Since you mentioned that it might reach 150,000, this perhaps reminds us of the predictions made almost 2 days ago by the son of the American president, where he said it might reach about $1 million. Do you see these as exaggerations, or could it actually reach these levels?
I think this is definitely possible. There's two main macro trends in the market. Firstly, we have interest rates coming down, and secondly, the emergence of DATs. So interest rates are still at 4.5%, and Bitcoin is at a $2.3 trillion market cap. So we're already seeing all-time highs despite very high interest rates. So with interest rates coming down, I think it's very possible by end of this year we see 150k to 200k Bitcoin. We also should see 10k to 12k Ethereum by end of year. I think both assets are performing very well. We have had all-time highs already this year, but interest rates are coming down. We have 3 FOMC meetings coming up in September, October, and December. So I'm very bullish on interest rates coming down. And secondly, we have the emergence of DATs. Now, these are digital asset treasury companies where a company acquires a significant portion of its reserves in digital assets. And this gives investors price exposure to the movements of those digital assets. So we've seen MicroStrategy acquire about 3% of the total Bitcoin supply, which is already a very bullish sign for Bitcoin and Bitcoin price going up. We have the likes of BitMine and Tom Lee who have started acquiring large amounts of Ethereum. So we have a large number of these digital asset treasury companies that are accelerating and purchasing large amounts of crypto without plans to sell. So this is very bullish for the overall crypto markets. We have interest rates going lower and the emergence of digital asset treasury companies.
Kingsley, don't you think that the optimistic view you are talking about for cryptocurrencies is not suitable for the upcoming period, especially since investors are currently reducing positions in high-risk assets like technology stocks, as we see due to valuations? Don't you think the same view might apply to cryptocurrencies?
So if you look at Bitcoin, it's been one of the best performing asset classes of all time. Over the last 5 years, Bitcoin's IRR, or average rate of return, has been about 60% year on year. And over the last 10 years, it's been about 80% year on year. So if you're a long-term holder, Bitcoin has outperformed pretty much every other asset class. So for long-term investors, I personally am a holder of Bitcoin and other digital currencies, and I'm a long-term holder. I'm not doing day trading. I'm in it for the long run. And for investors with a long-term mindset, it has outperformed most other asset classes.
Okay, what about other alternative currencies? I mean, from your perspective, you seem very optimistic about currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the largest and most traded. What about Solana and XRP, which perhaps have greater risks because their speculative nature is greater?
Definitely altcoins have more volatility than Bitcoin per se, but they also have higher chance of larger returns. So typically how the cycle works, Bitcoin usually reaches all-time highs, then Ethereum follows suit, and then the altcoins. So we have had Bitcoin hit all-time highs, we've had Ethereum hit all-time highs, and then I think next is the altcoins. So I am very bullish on not just Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also the top altcoins. I think we will see a very bullish market for altcoins over the next 90 days.
Kingsley Advani, CEO of ELO, welcome and thank you for joining us from Dubai.